Today's soap is brought to us from WTF Face. This one here is called Salty Sea Air, and as you can imagine, this scent was wasn't designed to be a bold, in your face type scent. It is a very light but subtle present scent, if you will. That's what it looks like there on the inside. Now I've had this particular tub for a moment, and then by the time I circle back around to pick up the matching aftershave, the label looks like this. But the scent is still all the same. the I've got it whipped up here on the wet side because of the shave, especially because of the shaver that I've used today. But there we go. Every once in a while I get one of those. But it's wet, but not almost drippy. It's trying to get there. But I can smell the scent right off of the bowl here, especially when I was lathering. It is definitely there, but I wouldn't consider it a strong scent. Not that it was ever meant to be that way. Here's the blade. It's a Personna X series. It's a half of a DE blade cut in half already for me, and this is what the box looks like. I've had this box for a while, so the blue's faded just a little bit. It's gotten wet, me throwing lather here and there and everywhere. And the shaver of the day is this is a Parker SRX. This one here is the I guess you might say the flagship of the lineup of Parker Shavettes. It's all metal. It has weight behind it, and there you go. That's what the scales look like. That. And yes, it's a fingerprint magnet, but it's nice and shiny and definitely catches the eye. I've already put a hot towel to the face this morning, and we'll go ahead and get started with the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Preshave Christmas Preshave soap here. This particular shaver is, I like it. It's got weight behind it. It's fun to use, but if you're not into shavettes that have weight behind them, Parker does have some of those that are much lighter than this one here. But it is definitely a very durable Shavette. But like I said, if fingerprints bug you, it's probably not one to get, because it shows all the fingerprints without a problem. You could just about work up a lather with this right here and shave with it, especially if you're going to use just a single pass. It's a lot of fun with the pre-shave soap for me. Weather here is a little bit guess you might say off its rockers. We have lows, down below freezing or around freezing, and then of course in the high, up around mid 50s going into 60, and we got rain today. But it's not supposed to last all day, I don't think. I'll have to read the report again and guess you might say try to interpret what they're trying to say. Sometimes they're pretty straightforward and it's easy to understand, but sometimes not so much. I think it has to do with whatever model they're using may not have a whole lot of confidence in the weather model that they're using. There we go. It happens. It's Oklahoma, so the weather is like that. Yeah, I can definitely pick it up, which is good for my nose. Sometimes light scents, my nose doesn't pick it up, but this one here, today, my nose is picking this scent up today. And as you can kind of tell, my lather, it's not big, fluffy. It is definitely wet or moist. It does help with the slickness and glide. I'm going to get my towel over here. I use a damp cloth to, on a Shavette shave, I wipe the lather off on the side, help keep my sink clean. Makes it better for the rinse. WTF Face soap is brought to us by Don. Don's been in the shaving community for quite some time. Excuse me. I first ran across him back when I first started using a blog I found Don, and then shortly thereafter he was starting to use videos. And then a little while after that he started making his own soap, which I thought was pretty cool. I enjoy that sort of thing, you know, when you have an opportunity to discover an artisan when they first start and kind of follow them through their paces, if you will. And like some of us, you do get kind of quiet when you're shaving with one of these from time to time because it does take a certain amount of focus. It is too easy to lose your focus and end up cutting yourself. But Don, if you haven't seen one of his videos, I'll try to make sure I get one link down below. And he's one of those, to me, just fascinating in that he lathers one time and gets his whole entire shave done with one lather. It just goes to show that, in other words, most videos you'll see guys, you know, to use a 3-pass. For me, with a Shavette or a straight razor, it's usually just 2 passes. I might do a pass across the tree, across the cheek. There we go. I'll get it out. But there, in other words, the rules aren't really, you know, hard and fast. Whatever works best for you. And for Don, he's figured out how to do it with one lather, which I'm quite all right with it. I think it's pretty awesome. I have been able to figure out how to do that, make it work for me. But for Don, he's got it figured out. I think it's pretty cool. Well, like I say, not everybody can do that. For some folks, it doesn't work, which I understand. It would take me a good long moment to figure out how to do it because with the way my hair grows, yes, I definitely would have to take a good moment to try to figure it out how to get it done within one pass, one lather, if you will. But for me, Shavette pass takes off, the first pass takes off so much that the second pass usually, in other words, against the grain, does such a great job that there's not much, hardly anything left on my face after that. Pretty efficient. The only part that I ever have any issues with is the strip right through here. And sometimes I might catch it again, but with a, might catch it with a DE or an injector or whatever I happen to have laying around ready to go. Speaking of that, I usually have one ready to go, and today I didn't do that. Catching it with a straight razor or a Shavette is not the easiest thing for me to do because the different angles that it grows right through there. It's just much easier to grab another shaver and whip it out real quick because it's just about like that, you know, you're already done. So, and it's a little bit challenging trying to do it with a Shavette or a straight razor. And for me, also, it seems kind of odd maybe for some folks. The easiest pass to do with these is against the grain. I don't know why. To me, it just seems a whole lot easier than with the grain. For some of you, you might experience this, but it is amazing. After I get lathered up, my nose starts to itch. I don't know why. if you have a beard and all you need to do is, I guess you might say, line up or clean up on your cheeks and under on your neck area, this here's a easy route to go. Because I don't believe that, depending on what your needs are, you can probably get by with a single pass. Especially if you're doing it on a daily basis. To me, it's quite a challenge to use a Shavette. This is where I started, and with a Shavette as opposed to a straight razor, it's been quite a challenge. But once you, guess you might say, master it, or get very good at it, maybe, it's a lot of fun. It's the sense of accomplishment when you're done. You got a good shave with a tool that's been around for a good long moment, like a straight razor. It just, that sense of accomplishment is, to me, I think it's just great. As it goes for the different styles of shavettes, my favorite is the camisori style. Rather Artist Club camisori style. It, to me, is just a whole lot easier to use. Not as cheap as the Parker shavettes. A lot of the Parkers, I think this is the more expensive one. I think it's $25. I think most of the rest of them are a little bit less than that, like maybe the $20 range. Also depends on where you shop. Um, if the Modern Man, which is a UK website, would get their Parker shavers back in stock, typically you can get a Shavette there pretty inexpensive. Of course, you do have the weight for it to be shipping from the UK, which typically doesn't take all that long. It's not quite like sometimes how you order something from AliExpress and it takes like 4 weeks before it finally shows up, or maybe longer. Uh, Modern Man has never been like that. I think the longest I've had to wait, the quickest is 2 weeks and the longest is 3. But under, how can you say, ideal conditions, in other words, not COVID messing things up, uh, it typically just takes about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5, but it's not that bad. And the shipping is reasonable, especially if you don't, I guess you might say, require the tracking number. I think shipping is $4 or just under $4. And then the tracking, I think they want like $11, I think it is. It's a bit expensive, yeah. I guess you might say in the grand scheme of things just to get a tracking number, but Royal Mail have no idea what kind of hoops those folks got to go through just to get a tracking number versus here in the States. It's pretty easy to get a tracking number. I guess you might say it, not an extra cost. Nothing extra there. Nice and smooth shave this morning. Got a little bit stinging on my cheek, but it's really just a smooth shave. It takes a moment to get used to this shaver. Yes, it does. I would not expect for you to get, how you say, proficient overnight. You might look forward to doing it in phases. I mention it from time to time with Sharpologist. Had an article probably 2 years ago now, maybe close to 3, and it mentions about talks about when you first get started with a shavette or a straight razor, what's a good way to get started, and dividing your face up. And in other words, 1 week you do just this cheek, and then next week you would do just this cheek, and the next week you do this part, and then the next week you do this part, and eventually you work it all together. But in other words, you don't try to tackle your face all at one time, and just kind of slowly work your way into it. And which, if you can do that, good for you. For me, I was just too excited. No way, no how. I was going to have to jump in with all fours and, at least do one single pass, on the face with the grain. And then I realized after that, wow, it's easier for me to do against the grain. But anyway, it just whatever works for you if you get started in one of these. And they're inexpensive. Parkers aren't too terribly expensive, and they're pretty consistent on their prices. In other words, pretty much wherever you might go, the prices on their products are pretty much the same. Give or take, $2 or $4, depending on what you're looking at and what time of year. But you can find some quality shavettes, like Classic Samurai was one of my first ones that I bought, and they work just fine. There's absolutely, probably should shake this up a little bit more. They work just fine. There's not a thing wrong with them. Matter of fact, in some cases, they're a little bit lighter, if that matters to you. Man, this smells like, especially on a day like today, it's rainy, and have a salty sea air aftershave. Go right along with the soap. When I set this up, a rainy day was not what I had in mind. It hadn't even entered my mind, but it's working well today. And I have had opportunity to be out by the ocean back when I was in the Army, and it does have a, how you say, that scent, that smell to it. Had a great shave today. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.